got a new food processor. It works so much better than the old one. That's what we have right now. See, I don't have to cut it. That's crazy. And then you just push these buttons and it comes off. My old one, you had to like jerk it around and
to the consistency you want.
And it's, oh my gosh, that's so easy.
Nice.
Hours of work. Now, so this was garlic that I forgot about that I needed to get cut up and taken care of. There it is. Let's see.
So, does it matter how thick it is on the tray?
Well, you don't want it too thick because then it will just take longer to dehydrate. But I have plenty of trays and not a whole lot of garlic, so really this is probably overkill.
So you have the silicone mats on top of the metal trays?
Yes, that's a game changer. Because before, when I got my dehydrator, it just had a couple of these, like fruit leather, and then this, which has holes, and then
two little trays.
Two of these fruit leather trays. And that was it. And most everything I do is tiny. Like this. So these little silicone mats I got on
So where did you
Amazon.
get the silicone mats?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yes. Hate to say, but
Seems like the more you spread it out, the easier it will be to dry.
yep. And it will just take a long time. I'm gonna do it up in the workroom, but it was just easier to get it together. Down here, so here's one. There's one. That's the part I told you to cut out that you didn't cut out. Oops.
No, it's on the floor.
Well, needs to be cleaned anyway. It would have made it had it not been a sticky ball of garlic. Garlic is so sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. And just spread it out. And then we have the unpeeled garlic in the refrigerator. It's going to be I really don't have enough. I'm just going to put all of this on 2 trays. Good idea?
Sure.
Because I don't have enough for a 3rd tray with this garlic. The other garlic, I need to freeze it. I was going to freeze some and powder some, because having frozen garlic is the best thing when you're cooking and you need some garlic.
So you have those little silicone
ice cube trays that have a lid. That's the thing, you need an ice cube tray with a lid in about the right size. So these are, thought I was done with that. These are little, look like, little B shape, not B shape, but the one, I have some of these, this is just one. Said I put the garlic, squeeze it down in there and let it freeze, and then it turns into a little garlic cube, and then you can just throw it in whatever you're cooking in it.
And those have a lid that goes on them, right?
Yep. Yep. Also Amazon
Little
purchase. It's a flimsy lid, but it does the job, right? It just has to cover it.
Good.
There you go. But
So when you have recipes that call for garlic, you can just pop a cube out.
well, no, I pop all the cubes out and keep them in a Ziploc bag in the freezer. And then if it calls for, well, I over garlic anyway. So if it calls for a clove of garlic, I just get a whole cube. Made buttered chicken, it called for 3 cloves of garlic, so I gave it 3 cubes. Because what is it? I mean, some garlic cloves are that big, and some are that big, and some are that big. I mean, it's relative. It's just how much garlic do you want, right?
I don't think you can have too much.
Well,
We like garlic.
yeah, I can eat a garlic clove. Remember when I was little, my mom used to say that her mom would eat raw garlic on butter and crackers. And I thought, oh, I wonder what that would be like. So I tried it. No, I thought it was the worst thing in the world. And now it's like, maybe she had something there. Okay. All right, so this is the rest of the garlic. I've gone through it all. We'll put the garlic in. Okay, is it all in? And voila.
Simple.
So easy. And just squeeze the buttons.
To open it up.
Yeah, my last one was really hard to open.
Well, if you don't have a food processor, you could just finally chop all this with a knife. It'd just take a lot longer to do.
You could, I have one of those choppers. You know, you push it down.
Yeah.
You can use one of those too.
Anything to chop it up finally.
Yep. And you know, last time I didn't chop it up fine. I just rough chopped it and stuck it in. I mean, it's going to dehydrate. It'll just be faster this way. And I can put it in my freezers thingies, my ice cube trays, and then I'll have it on hand for when a recipe calls for minced garlic. I'll just get it out of the freezer.
It's interesting how many health benefits that garlic has.
It's an antioxidant.
Rich in antioxidants and
Yep.
allicin content.
Yeah, but you can't. Something about cutting it releases the allicin.
True.
And the allicin is what helps you smell it,
Yes.
and it's good for your blood,
Very good for your
heart
blood.
health.
But the allicin helps lower cholesterol, reduce blood
Yep.
pressure,
Nice.
prevents heart disease, and it's good for artery function and blood flow.
Good old allicin.
And the antioxidants makes it a good immune system helper, helps
Yeah.
fight off infections. Supports your digestive health, beneficial gut bacteria.
My goodness.
The powdered garlic has anti-inflammatory properties. So it reduces inflammation in the body,
Yep.
helps reduce inflammation of arthritis.
Nice.
And this one I didn't know until today. It's a blood sugar regulator.
Blood sugar regulator.
Yep.
So it helps you not have the spikes and.
Yeah. It
Oh,
helps.
that's why they eat it with pasta.
Maybe so. Yeah, because you're going to get a sugar rush from pasta, right? From
Well, yeah.
carbs.
Yeah, your carb.
Your body converts a lot of starches to sugars, so garlic would help
Yeah.
with that.
It's a lot of garlic here.
A lot of garlic.
It's a lot of garlic. A lot of garlic. I think I'm gonna put
The antioxidant properties also help your body fight against oxidative stress.
and what would that be?
It's where you have basically where you have cell damage, cellular damage from exposure to everything in daily life, all the toxins, stuff that's in the air.
Yeah, gotcha.
You get oxidative stress. It's kind of like when soil is left bare, it gets an oxidative stress, or it oxidizes. It's just a condition that
Like when your banana is unpeeled
it oxidizes. That's right. When it's left unpeeled.
and your avocados. So the onion I'm going to do next, it also has a lot of health benefits.
It does. So one of many reasons we do this garlic this way and make powdered garlic is you never can tell when you buy powdered garlic unless you're careful about reading the ingredients. A lot of commercially prepared brands of powdered garlic contain silicon dioxide and rice hulls and possibly other anti-caking agents.
Yeah. So when I've done this before, I didn't need any. It never caked. When I freeze dried it and then powdered it, then it got all kinds of cakey. But that was just because of the moisture. You know, like when you're, cooking and there's steam and you open it up and freeze dried things just draw in moisture because they're very, very dry. But the dehydrated never seemed to cake the garlic. The onion was a whole nother matter. So I've heard that I can use arrowroot as anti-caking in the onions or in anything, but I have never had any caking problems with the garlic. So why put an agent in if there's no caking going on? But too, the onions, I mean, they were fine. I can still use them, but it was getting a little toward the bottom of the jar.
Kind of to stir it up every time.
So I can. So when I dehydrate these onions, wherever they are, I'm going to put the end of the jar that caked up and just re-dehydrate it.
That's a good idea.
And then I'm going to powder it all, either using this or the Vitamix. Not sure which. Last time I did it all in my spice grinder, and my spice grinder's kind of small.
Yeah, if you're doing a small amount, that might be okay, but
yeah, but I just did batch over batch over batch.
So arrowroot's a natural product, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And don't say it's a root of an arrow. It is a root of a plant, but it escapes me right now.
Okay.
Oh goodness, there's some big ones in there. I should do that again. This is very nice. Is it Cuisinart? Cuisinart. My mom used to call it Cuisinart. Cuisinart. She loved her Cuisinart. She was funny. I'm getting to the end. So this is going to be, the rest of this I'm going to freeze in these little trays. And then if I don't have enough, if I have too much and I fill up all those trays, then I'll just make this a little thicker.
So these are the ones you use to freeze it?
Yep. And some people say put oil in, but I don't. once I finish with this, I'll start on the onions. So now we've got all the garlic on the trays and in the ice cube trays. I'm getting the papers off of the onion, and then I've decided I'm gonna dehydrate minced onion, not sliced onion. I couldn't decide earlier. Now I decided it'll be minced, so it'll be like the garlic, only sliced would be a different consistency and they might not dry at the same rate. So now I'm taking the papers off. I'm doing it over here, not on the island, because I don't want the papers to get into what it's clean over there. I mean, it's clean over here too, but it's the papers I'm going to save for broth. So they're nice papers. I mean, these papers.
Get all the minerals out of them for your bone broth.
Yep. But I gotta check them to make sure they're not mildewy, or sometimes onions get kind of little ugh. Okie doke. So I got it all cleaned up. All signs of garlic are just about gone. Garlic's like sugar. It's sticky and it gets everywhere, especially when it's finely minced. I'm gonna mince the onion and put it on these trays. It's much wetter than, which makes sense because there's a lot more moisture in onion than garlic. This is very wet. So this, see, I wouldn't cook with such a fine, I mean, I guess I could, just never have. So what are the benefits of onion, dearest?
Well, they're a little bit similar to garlic in some ways and a few differences.
I guess they're both in the same family, so that would make sense.
Yeah, they're both an allium. But still, the onions are also rich in antioxidants. But garlic didn't mention vitamins and minerals in the research on that, but onions do. So they're immune system boosters, improve digestion, reduce inflammation, and enhanced heart health. Powdered onion is rich in, I'm not sure I'm saying this right, quercetin and sulfur compound, which act as antioxidants and help prevent free radicals.
Free radicals.
Right? Who needs free radicals? They help lower cholesterol, improve or help with the risk of heart disease, provide dietary fiber, so they aid digestion. Again, just like the garlic, it helps regulate blood sugar levels, which can benefit those with diabetes or those that might be at risk. Reduces inflammation. So again, just like with the garlic, it's helpful with arthritis, which is basically a form of inflammation. Mm-hmm. And it's different from the research on garlic powder. The onion powder also supports bone health. It has minerals like calcium and magnesium.
I heard that.
So very helpful for your bones as well.
Good. Whew. And
making you cry?
Yeah. The fumes.
Burning? Yeah,
I want to sneeze really bad. So there's a theory that it's a molecule in the onion that is a moisture. What am I trying to say? It wants to follow moisture. That's why it goes, this molecule wants to find moisture. So that's why it goes to your eyes and your nose and your moisture places. Yeah. Oh, but the rest, the bottom, it's so...
Water?
Oh, yeah. Where's my wet paper towel? Oh, man. This, oh my goodness, Dave. I did it too long. It's
A
like,
little watery on the bottom.
it's like baby food.
Oh, well,
It's almost like puree.
that's all right. We're going to powder it in the end.
Yeah. But still, I was trying to make it the consistency of the garlic. I think I missed.
There's the thing about dehydrating is things that are in smaller particles dehydrate faster than things that are thicker.
Yeah, I could. This is very. Seriously, can you tell from there how liquidy this is?
No, but I can bring this over. So you have to be careful, I guess, not to do it too long with the onions.
Yeah, look at that. It's just.
Yeah, see all the water in there.
Yep, onion water. So here it is. Take it all up to the dehydrator upstairs.
I think the dehydrator instructions for onions and garlic said to keep it between 100 and 130.
Yeah, just the lower you have it, the longer it takes. As long as it's not up around 160. 160
It'll cook it.
is when you're at pasteurization. So if you want to pasteurize anything, make it 160. But
We don't want pasteurized.
yeah, that's not a need for this. Heavy.
So here's the dehydrator.
Yep, we have the garlic in. I'll put the onion down below.
24 hours, set on raw food.
Yep,
All right.
we
There it
will
is.
come back and see it, check it in 24 hours.
See what's happening.
We'll see what's happening. Onions and the garlic are finished in the dehydrator. So we just need to take them out and get them into the house and grind them up.
So we have these 3 trays. This one is one that we redid from the last batch. It just was a little clumpy, so we're drying it out. We dried it out in the dehydrator some more this time. And there's 2 trays of new onion. And we have 4 trays that will turn into garlic powder.
Yeah. So this, I'll do the onion first. So like David said, this was the onion powder that I could barely use because I didn't have any anti-caking agent like arrowroot in it. So I just re-dehydrated it. It just got a little moist. And it seems much nicer now. I can crumble it with my fingers where before I couldn't.
So now we're going to use the Vitamix with the dry grinder. We have 2 different ones. Dry ingredients like grains and powdered stuff. You can use a spice grinder for this, but most spice grinders are pretty small and it would just take multiple times to get it all done. So using the Vitamix for this seems to work really well.
It's very loud.
And it's going to be very dusty when you take the top off.
Let it settle for a second. It'd be delicious. Smoky looking. Yeah, not clumpy at all. Nice. Make sure I got all of that. Should use that funnel, huh? No, I don't need a funnel. No funnel needed. I say
save.
that. Yeah, right.
You need a mask? Be a little intense to breathe the onion dust.
Yeah, there's still some lumps. I'm gonna sneeze. It's not even pepper. There's a few chunks in there. They kind of fly around. Come on, thing. This is where I feel like I need to. Now I decided to get the funnel out just because this, oh wow, this one's really stuck. Because I spilled a little bit of it, and it's, you know, you work hard to get this done. You don't want to spill any of it on the counter. All put to good use. Now, let's see if I can get it all to go down. I have a tamper, but I didn't bring it in here. It'll be fine. It's got to settle. It's gonna make me sneeze if I don't. Be careful. Get this out of the way a little bit. Got clumped underneath the blades. So one thing about Vitamix, the blades, you can't unattach them from the canister. So you gotta dig it all out. That's where this skinny thing comes into play. Now I gotta get all this washed out, and then I'll come back and do the garlic. There. Onion.
4 onions turned into powder.
4 or 5. Plus the other stuff
yeah.
that we used to have. All right, so we finished up the onion. I just wiped out the container, and now goes the garlic. These might be a little harder to crunch. They seem a little bit like more pebble-like than soft, but we'll see how it goes. Happy to have my powders back. The last little bit, just add it to it.
The vapors.
Can you, isn't it funny? Oh, wow. It's strong, but it smells delicious. My goodness, I have another hard one over here. That one doesn't look too bad, actually. It's making me hungry.
Hold your breath.
Gonna have to breathe at some point. Whew. So, I need to get more of the silicone ones. This one is sliding off way better though. Okay, now that I say that, I take it all back. This is sliding off way easier than the silicone. It wasn't all wet like the onion was. Note to self, put wet onion on the silicone. I think that did it.
More sticky on the silicone mat.
It really is. We can try parchment next time.
Didn't we do it on parchment paper before we had those silicone mats?
Well, I don't know if I did garlic and onion on the parchment. I have dehydrated on parchment before. Okay, last one. Okay, there's, it's up to here. Yay.
Nice
That
amount.
was a nice amount, yeah. And then the rest of it is in the ice that we froze. I think I'll get them out. I almost forgot about these guys.
The frozen ones.
Yep. So, nicely frozen, but it's just a matter of popping them out.
We'll pop them out and put them in your bag
And get them in the freezer.
or a glass container if you don't want to use plastic.
True. However, we bought in bulk, so here we are. But anyway, this is what they'll look like. And when the recipe calls for garlic, I just pull out a little cube of minced garlic and throw it in the recipe. Sometimes I throw it in frozen, sometimes I prepare ahead of time and pull it out and let it thaw.
So hope you guys will like the video. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell for notifications. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.